Hey guys, what's up? Ranzo here. So I've wanted to make this video for a while actually. This video is about what I've learned living in Japan for 6 years, living specifically in Tokyo, and also having interviewed hundreds of people in Japan and across Asia as well. There's a few things I want to share with you guys if you bear with me to break down a few things. A decent number of you guys who watch this channel have a goal or desire to move to Japan at some point in the near or distant future, right? So you have listened to experiences, right? And you are curious about having your own experience in Japan as well. I want to share some insights with you guys. While there might be commonalities in terms of the black experience in Japan, your experience will be unique to you as an individual. There are many factors that play into this reality. Your mindset plays a big role in your personal experience. And I've said this before. It's about how you interpret things. It's about how you respond to things, right? It's about what you as an individual take with you in every interaction, in every conversation that you engage in. Now, there are a few things that are worth considering when you move to Japan. One is we understand that it's a homogeneous society. So you will get more stares and eyeballs more than the average Japanese person in Japan, right? It's a given, right? There are people who have various experiences across the spectrum. When I question these people, you find that their mindset for those leading a life that they enjoy, it has to do with their mindset, the way that they see the world. I understand that things happen and people deal with them differently because we're all different. That's why even though we're all black people, the black experience is not monolithic. Your experience might be different from mine. Mine might be different from yours. But there are things that we can extrapolate from each person's experience that can add value or arm us as individuals to take on our own experience in Japan. Some of the preconception and the fear and the trepidation that people have coming into Japan before leaving their country, in some cases are unfounded. In some cases, they are legitimate. One of the biggest things is racism in Japan. What will it be like being a black person? This channel has done a great job in showing you guys a spectrum of experiences that you can experience whilst living in Japan. The only culture shock I really had initially coming to Japan was that the pace that I was moving at in Canada, it was a little bit slower in Japan for maybe the first 6 months to a year. So you have to sort of get acclimatized to the country. Then after that, once you get your stride, it becomes a lot easier. Once you start building your tribe, it becomes a lot easier. Once you start connecting with people, it becomes a lot easier. So the first thing is you need to come here with an optimistic mindset, right? It's a new frontier for you as an individual, right? So you have to come with that mindset plus an open mind, and it helps. It helps a lot. As Justin said in a recent interview that I did, it helps to not assume what an action meted out to you means without first seeking interpretation or understanding. What do you mean by this interaction? I think it means this, but is this actually the case? Right? Asking those questions, trying to find out the true meaning of certain things, give you a lot of peace and save you a lot of stress and heartache in terms of, overworking yourself, right? Trying to decipher what just happened. It will definitely help your mental health and your peace of mind. People also say that living in Japan, some of the microaggression and passive aggression that you experience, I've experienced it sometimes, are like paper cuts. It might not seem like anything when you get one, but over time, it becomes a burden that you gotta carry and become quite painful, right? But again, your experience in Japan is what you make it. We will receive stares, all these things will happen. But if you arm yourself with the right mindset, if you have that work ethic, it opens many doors for you as an individual. It seems like it's not a person's country. It seems like it's not a person's skin tone, complexion, race. It seems like it is that person's mindset, because indeed, in this life, broadly, not just Japan, we can't control what happens to us, but we have a choice in how we respond to both good experiences, good interactions, bad interactions, good encounters, bad encounters. And that's what I've found. So if you want to have a certain experience in Japan, you have to be able to control your mind. You have to be able to choose how you respond to each interaction and how you interpret each interaction that you have. That's where you have power. In this life, most of us won't get our way, right? But we can control how we respond. We can control if we relinquish power or if we take hold of the power that we have, retain our power in terms of how we respond to each interaction. I was driving the other day, for instance, right? It was yesterday actually, and I wanted to go over, I wanted to change my lane, and this Japanese guy was driving, and I saw the car in my review, that the car was just coming up right upon me because he never wanted me to come over. So I'm driving and I'm trying to get over. From the movement of his car, I see that he's not having it. I'm like, okay. So when I was about to try to go, he just sped up and just blocked me. When we came to a full stop, the man just stopped and just folded his arm like this. Don't worry, it's autopilot. So the man actually did this with a mean mug on. Well, not a mean mug, but like a grumpy expression on his face, right? And I was just like, okay. So I looked over and I pulled my glasses down like this and I was looking. Am I going to be concerned about this guy being grumpy today for whatever reason? He's having a bad day, maybe. Whatever the case is, I won't allow that to ruin my day. I just looked at him, smiled, laughed, continued with my conversation that I was having, and that was it. That was it, right? So you have to be able to control your conversation and dictate how you respond. So I'm not going to allow that to ruin my day or my experience. Life in Japan is like that. Can be like that. Life on planet Earth is like that. People just do different things, and the question is, how will you respond to it? If you have an optimistic mindset versus a pessimistic mindset, you can have a great time in Japan. I did a talk fairly recently in Japan. One of the persons was asking me, how can someone cultivate such a mindset? It has to do with one's internal environment. It has to do with your consumption pattern. Very, very, very important. Whatever you consume, you will become. Whatever you consume is the material that will be used to create and build your internal environment. So if you consume books, movies, videos, things you listen to, whatever it is, that's not the right material, your internal environment is not going to be the way it ought to be. So you have to watch your consumption pattern. You have to force feed yourself positivity. And this is more so on a human experience level, a personal development level. Right? It's not about just being a black person. This is a human thing. This is advice that can work for any person. Stephen had a really good way to approach these things. And I think y'all should watch his interview as well. It's in the description down below. And there are many other people, not just in Japan, who have shared really, really valuable insights. And the mindset that they decide to have, like Stephen would say, when you go into a room, you hit them before they hit you. When you enter into a room, for instance, you're black in Japan or somewhere else, you hit them before they hit you. So when this sort of presupposition, this preconception that they have in their minds about you as a person, you let them know who you are. You show them who you are before allowing the first impression that they have of you walking into the room to fester in their minds, to take root in their minds. You literally hit them with who you are, the reality of who you are. You're not a skin color, you're not a race, you're a person, a human. And by who you are, your engagement, your interaction, they now have a choice to make, which is either I'm going to hold true to my preconception, which is erroneous, incorrect, or they will accept you for who you are as a person that they can have a relationship with, a professional relationship with, social relationship with, right? And then you can build and move forward together. So over 6 years in Japan, yes, I've had negative experiences. Yes, sometimes, people rub me the wrong way. Yes, indeed. But the question is, am I going to allow this individual or this person to ruin my day, to ruin my life, to ruin my time in this country? So while this might not be what some of you guys clicked on this video for, I think I have to share it. And while life in Japan has its challenges, you can still have a happy, productive life in Japan. Not that you can control everything that happens to you, but you can control how you respond and your mindset. Overall, Japan is a beautiful place to raise your family, right? It's a peaceful place, a great place to find yourself, a great place to learn about a different culture, different people, how to operate within a society that's not your own in terms of you weren't born here or raised here and the people are different from yourself. Whilst this is not an exhaustive video, I think I'm going to leave it here for now. If you have any specific questions, let me know in the comment section down below. I appreciate you guys. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Peace.